can you hear the twinge of weariness and frustration in Simon Peter's answer? Because you need to. Right? Like, these are human beings. These are men just like us. Like, here that he had worked all night, caught nothing. Nets were clean, ready to go home. I would imagine that at this point, all Simon wanted to do was get some food and go to sleep. But do you also hear that there's some level of familiarity? There is some level of connection between them, right? Simon calls him master, and he also trusts him enough to make himself uncomfortable to do what he doesn't want to do just because Jesus asked him to. There is already some trust. So they have known each other before this moment. They went back out in the boat. They dropped their nets. They caught so many large fish that the nets started to break. So they called their partners to come with another boat to help them. They ended up filling both boats with so many fish that both boats started to sink. And when Simon Peter saw it, he fell down at Jesus' knees and said, "Depart from me, for I am a sinful man, O Lord." Luke wrote that everyone that saw this happen was astonished, including Simon and Andrew's partners, James and John, the sons of Zebedee. And then Jesus says to Simon, "Do not be afraid. From now on, you will be catching men." And Luke finishes the story this way. And when they had brought their boats to land, they left everything and followed him. So let me ask, what if Luke 5 is just the extended version of Matthew 4? What if Matthew 4 tells us briefly what Luke tells us fully? This is just another beautiful reason why we have to read the scriptures as one book telling one story rather than 66 books that somehow connect at the end. But here's what I really want us to take with us tonight. Look at how God leads us to himself. God is not impatient. He's a gardener. He plants and he waters. He deals with weeds. He watches and he waits. And when the time is right, he gives the increase and he brings us to harvest. God promised Jesus would come and redeem us from the moment man's sin was exposed. From the very moment that Adam and Eve were ashamed and wearing fig leaves, God said that there will be a head crusher that will come and deal with your sin. He used Abram and Sarai to have a son that would become a family, that would become a nation. He sent his law and his presence to dwell with his people. He sent them prophets and dealt with their kings, their sin and their wayward hearts. And all along, he kept one single promise alive. I will send one who will bear your iniquity and restore you to fellowship with me. I will be your God and you will be my people eventually because I will do the word.